Time for our outrageous predictions for the Sugar Bowl, Ohio State versus Clemson on Friday. This is Doug Lesmerises, Nathan Baird, and Stephen Means of cleveland.com. Thanks for joining us on our cleveland.com Ohio State football YouTube channel. Get subscribed to that. You can see all our videos. All right. We've seen this game before, but as we've been talking about on our Buckeye Talk podcast, it doesn't mean it's going to go the exact same way. So I'm very curious to see where you guys go with your outrageous predictions, because I mean, there's a lot of ways we could go here with what Clemson might do offensively to Ohio State, with will Trey Sermon go nuts for Ohio State, will Chris Olave go nuts? So, Stephen, we'll start with you. What is your outrageous prediction for Clemson, Ohio State?
So I did some math to come up with this, and my formula was simple. I took their stats from the Fiesta Bowl last year, and then their average per game stats from this season, and then whatever their season highs were coming into the season. My outrageous prediction is that Justin Fields and Trevor Lawrence are going to combine for 800 yards total, passing and rushing. And I came to that because last year they combined for 699 total yards and 4 touchdowns, and then they're averaging 628.5 yards and 6.5 touchdowns this season. And their season highs bring them to 916 total yards and 14 total TDs, which came out to an average of 747.8 yards and 8.2 TDs. But to make it outrageous, I had to go at least 100 yards more than what they had last year. So I went with 800 total yards, both of those guys being threats with their arms and their legs. I think this is going to be the quarterback game and quarterback matchup that has been talked about since they've been in high school.
That would make the people happy if we see Justin Fields and Trevor Lawrence going toe-to-toe, big plays, arms, feet. That would be a game I think that everybody would enjoy if your outrageous prediction comes through. Nathan, what you got?
So I tried to find something that would sync up with what I'm predicting as far as a game prediction here. So Ohio State has come in. I think they're averaging 275 yards a game rushing. They've gone over 300 in 3 straight games. But Clemson's one of the best run defenses in the country. And when you take out the games that James Skalski and some other guys missed that are pretty important to this defense, that average per carry that they give up drops even more. It's down in the low 2s. So even after 300 straight rushing yard games for Ohio State, I'm going to take, and I feel like it has to be like a low number to be really outrageous. So I'm going to take Ohio State to have less than 160 rushing yards against Clemson. I think that will be one of the things. I think if Clemson can force Ohio State to be one-dimensional, as talented as they are on the passing side of the ball, that when anytime you can take any team and force them kind of out of this foundational thing that they've done with the running game, I think that plays into Clemson's favor.
That also could be one of those things where it feels like sometimes Ryan Day likes to throw it. So sometimes you don't have to force him too hard to get Ohio State to go that direction. So that again would be very interesting if that way.
That's true, and that 160 would also include negative yardage off the sacks, the way they count it in college too, and that has been an issue at times.
Yeah, Clemson is like in the top 5 in the country in sacks per game, so that is an issue. So I'm going a weird way. I am going 4 total interceptions thrown in this game. Last year, Justin Fields threw 2. 1 was on the last play of the game. It shouldn't have been an interception. 1 was an amazing Isaiah Simmons pick. Trevor Lawrence didn't throw any. Justin Fields in his last 3 games has thrown 5 interceptions. He didn't throw any before that. Trevor Lawrence in his last 5 games has thrown 4 interceptions. He didn't throw any before that. I just think they're going to be trying to make plays. I think some of this stuff that you guys are talking about, Steven, if they're going at each other, it's like you can't just take every little check down. You can't take every time, oh, that guy's covered, I guess I can't throw it. You can't. I mean, you've got to try to make plays. I think that's going to be in their minds a little bit. And I think we know Clemson, by just almost every metric out there, is the number 1 defense in the country. Now, part of it is, who exactly have they played that's tested them? I'm not sure. But I just think Clemson might get Justin a couple times, but I think Ohio State might get Trevor Lawrence. I think Kerry Combs might try to do something, because I don't know that you can sit back here. I think you've got to try to do some stuff and try to trick him a little bit, try to maybe disguise a couple things. Have Josh Proctor be a playmaker. So I'm not saying like they are going to have bad games, but I'm saying there might be some big mistakes from moment to moment, that it's not just perfection the whole time, because I think it's a high-level game, man. And I think these guys both know it. They have this little rivalry, and I just think they each might get caught a couple times. So I'll say 4 total picks between Trevor Lawrence and Justin Fields and anybody else who happens to throw a pass in this game. We will have game picks in a day. We will have game time decisions on day of the game. Make sure you're listening to our Buckeye Talk podcast. We'll do a big picks and preview podcast there. Get subscribed to Buckeye Talk wherever you listen to podcasts. And of course, make sure you're reading cleveland.com/OSU. For Nathan and Steven, I'm Doug. Those are our outrageous predictions for the Sugar Bowl.